Hello students, welcome back to my channel Literary Meet. আজিৰ ভিডিঅ'টোত আমি BA First Sem English Major Unit 1 Feudalism and Medieval World কিছুমান question answers discuss কৰিম। So ভিডিঅ'টো ভালদৰে শেষৰলৈকে চাবা আৰু চেনেলটো সাবস্ক্ৰাইব কৰিবলৈ নাপাহৰিবা। এই ভিডিঅ'টোত 1 to 5 আৰু 10 মাৰ্কছৰ কেইটামান question থাকিব। Question to 5 মাৰ্কছৰ কাৰণে আহিলে মই ইয়াতে প্ৰোভাইড কৰা এনসাৰটো লিখিলেই সাফিসিয়েন্ট হ'ব বুলি মই ভাবো আৰু যদি 10 মাৰ্কছৰ এছে টাইপ question আহে তেনেহলে ইয়াত দিয়া এনসাৰটো লিখি তাৰ লগত ফিউডালিজম টপিকটোৰ ওপৰত মই যি এটা ৰিটেন নোট আগবঢ়াম তাৰ পৰা কিছু কথা লিখিলেই হ'ব। Question number 1, what was feudalism in medieval age? 2 অথবা 5 মাৰ্কছৰ বাবে ইয়াত ব্লু অংশখিনি তোমালোকে 1 অথবা 2 মাৰ্কছৰ বাবে লিখিব পাৰা আৰু গোটেই এনসাৰটো তোমালোকে 5 মাৰ্কছৰ বাবে লিখিব পাৰা। Feudalism was a land-based form of government and a system of exchange for military service or taxes. It was a socio-political and economic system of Western Europe during the medieval period between 5th to 15th century. The system existed both in Europe and Asia. The word feud means conditional ownership of land. It came from the German word feud and the word feudalism is derived from the medieval Latin terms feudalis, which means fee, feudum or fief. The fee signified the land given, the fief as a payment for regular military service. In feudalism, the poorer people used to work for the nobles, showing loyalty to their lords. In return, the lords protected and allowed them to live and work in their land. It was the landowner who took decisions on the judicial matters as well as their fortune. There was a hierarchy system in feudalism which describes 4 levels of power or class: kings at the top, nobles below them, then comes the knights and peasants at the bottom. The king owned all the land in the country which he alone couldn't protect or handle, so he distributed the land among his lords who later ruled on that land. In return, the lords or the vassals used to send him soldiers to protect the kingdom. The soldiers were commonly known as knights who lived on the land of the lord and could be rewarded with the land for their service. The peasants or serfs were tied to the land. They worked there and gave food to the knights and lords. What is the meaning of medieval? 2 অথবা 5. In the word medieval, the term medi means middle and eve means age. Therefore, it is called the Middle Age. Here, middle refers to the period between the Roman Empire and Renaissance. Why is medieval called the Dark Ages? For 2 or 5 marks. The medieval period is called the Dark Age because of the collapse of Rome, severe civilizational regression, and literal darkness that took place in this period. This period was marked by the disappearance of urban life that had thrived under the Greeks and the Romans in many parts of Europe. Europe experienced political instability and frequent warfare, which resulted in a breakdown of law and order, which led to violence and social unrest. Spread of diseases like the Black Death swept the population that resulted in economic slowdown and social disclosure. The horrific disease killed 1/3 of Europe's population. The Roman Catholic Church was also responsible for this age to be called as Dark Age. It was the dominant political religious institute in that time, which later became oppressive, restrictive, leading to limitations on intellectual and artistic expression. Right to privileges enjoyed by the nobles. The nobles had absolute and permanent control over their property. They held their own court of justice. Why did the Peasants Revolt take place in the 14th century in Europe? The Peasants Revolt took place in Europe in the 14th century as the nobles demanded higher taxes from the poor peasants, most probably to fund the ongoing war. The peasants opposed it violently and began to revolt. Which period is known as medieval period? For 1 or 2 marks. The time period between 5th to 15th century is called the medieval period. What is manor? The vast areas of land held by the lords were known as manors. What is the primary characteristic of a feudal society? Exchange of land for service. What was a fief? A piece of land given to vassals. What are the main features of feudalism? For 5 or 10 marks. Feudalism flourished in Europe during 5th to 15th century. It refers to a kind of agricultural production or a land-based form of government and system of exchange of land for military service or taxes. It was based on the relationship between the lords and peasants. The lords distributed their land among feudal lords. The feudal lord was loyal to his master and gave him military service in return. The feudal lords was given some formal rights by his master. In the hierarchy system of the feudalism, the peasants were at the bottom or at the lowest class. They were of two different kinds, free peasants and serfs. The peasants worked as bonded laborers on the piece of land given by his master. In this feudal system, the king lacked communication with the common man. Write a short note on Black Death for 5 marks. The Black Death pandemic was an epidemic that created the greatest threat to the medieval cities. It was a plague which came in England in 1348. The ships in the port cities that brought goods carried rats, which caused the plague. The disease later came to be called as Black Death. The spread of this horrific disease swept a large number of population in Europe. This horrific disease killed 1/3 of the population in Europe, which resulted in economic slowdown and social disclosure. This was not only a terrible disease but also unable to cure. According to the doctors, the only way to cure a patient would be draining out the bad blood of the patient's body. The Catholic Church was used to rule at the time. Claimed this disease to be a punishment for those who opposed the idea of God and religion and blamed Jews for this terrible disease. এই টপিকৰ ওপৰত আৰু কেইটামান কুৱেশ্যন এনসাৰ মই আপলোড কৰিম পাৰ্ট 2 হিচাপে। বহুতৰ কমেন্ট আহি আছিল কুৱেশ্যন এনসাৰৰ ওপৰত ভিডিঅ' বনাবলৈ, সেয়ে মই আজিৰ ভিডিঅ'টো বনালোঁ। যদিও মই নবনাওঁ বুলি ভাবিছিলোঁ, কাৰণ ফাৰ্ষ্ট ছেমৰ সিলেবাছখন টোটেলি নিউ হয় আৰু আগতে এই সিলেবাছ অনুসৰি কোনো এক্সাম হোৱা নাই, সো ময়ো একেবাৰে শিওৰ হ'ব পৰা নাই। বাট তোমালোকৰ হেল্প হ'ব বুলি কেনে ধৰণৰ কুৱেশ্যন আহিব পাৰে তাৰ এটা আইডিয়া দিবলৈ মই এই ভিডিঅ'টো বনালোঁ। I hope you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe the channel and share with your friends. Thank you.